Hi everyone, I'm Charlene from So Dressmaking and welcome to part 1 of my Atelier et Avril Victoria dress sew along. So this was a pattern that I made recently for Sister Mintaka's Feeling So Much Better challenge. I absolutely love this. A lot of my followers on Instagram really loved it, so I wanted to do a sew along because the pattern is in French. There's no English instructions yet for it, so I wanted to do a wee sew along to help any of you that want to make this dress. So this time I'm going to be making it in this viscose crepe from Sister Mintaka, and I just absolutely love this fabric so much. And yeah, I'm making a few wee changes to it. So I'm going to add a bit more volume to the sleeve cuffs, and I have added 17 centimeters of length. My original plan was to add 20 centimeters of length to the dress, but I didn't quite have enough fabric left. I managed to just about squeeze all of this in. So yeah, I will go through all the changes now that I made to the pattern. The other thing I did was a narrow shoulder adjustment, which is a wee bit tricky because there's pleats on the front of the dress. Kind of makes it a wee bit more difficult to start altering this part of the pattern, but I will show you what I've done. Hopefully it is going to work. It's not a massive adjustment that I needed, so yeah, I will show you all the changes that I made now and then chat to you after. So the first thing that I'm going to do to alter my sleeve pattern is same as before. I'm going to measure about halfway in between. Halfway in between, and do the same here. This is a wee bit. So the reason I like using my pattern master is it actually goes from 0 here in the middle to 20 on either side, so it's actually really handy if you want to find a center point to line up or anything like that. And then you've got some of your curves there as well. So we'll go. So the difference between the alterations I'm making to this sleeve and the floor sleeve is I am not going to be touching any of the volume at the top here. I'm just going to leave the top of the sleeve head and just spreading it out down here. So we still start off with the same method. So I'm going to go 6 centimeters apart here. All the way at the bottom. No, I'll stick with 5. And draw my lines in now. So I think, to be honest, I could probably do this alteration now without actually marking all this. You kind of just get used to what the shape is going to be after you've done it so many times. I also find this really great for cutting anything on the bias because you've got your 45-degree angles here as well, and these lines here are all half centimeter apart. So this here I have marked at 3.5 centimeters, which was what my last binding was, so it's really easy to line it all up. So next thing I'm going to do is cut these lines up. I am not going to cut the entirely. I'm just going to cut right up to the top and leave the very top of it attached. Like this, so that I can just spread this apart. Get a fresh sheet of pattern trace. And tape. So if I start just by taping that in place at the top, and then I'm going to draw one line just straight down the middle here, and this is where I'll measure it from. So I am going to go I think 6 centimeters here in the middle, so 3 centimeters either side for the first one, and then just tape them in place. And then 5 centimeters, I think, here. And same again. So as I've said before as well, you can just do this as much or as little as you want. Another bit. And if you feel that this is all shifting around too much, add a wee bit of tape up at the top there too. So what I have found from doing this so many times, when your sleeve comes straight down from where the sort of the seam line is here, if it comes straight down, that gives you quite a lot of volume. So I'll pop a picture in of one of the jumpers that I've made, but the sleeve just comes straight down at the sides, and it does give a lot of volume at the cuff. So I know, looking at this already, that it has the right amount of cuff or volume that I am after. So yes, I think we're getting a visitor.
So now what I'm going to do is, I'm quite happy with the shape. So if you remember, it was the bottom of the sleeve was probably only this, so it's near enough half the width now. I'm going to trace around it. So the other thing that I actually need to do is a narrow shoulder adjustment on the bodice. So on the back piece it is quite easy to do. So you need to measure halfway here and then about 1/3 of the way up your sleeve or your armhole. Yeah, which is about there. Draw a line in between the two and then connect that line up to the top, and then you also need to mark where you want your how much of adjustment you need to make. So I'm just going to do 1 centimeter here, which I think is all that it's really going to need to get the puff at the top of the sleeve to sit where it should. So then you cut down here, don't actually cut it off, cut up to here, and then just bring this piece here up to where your mark is, and where's my tape? Up to there. So then you have this gap here, and all you need to do is just get some paper to fill that in on the back. What I might just do is use some washi tape on front and back. Washi tape is great because it means that you're not, so for before there where I had stuck down all the pattern pieces onto another piece of paper, I could easily take it off. I'm not wasting any paper that way. So there is one narrow shoulder adjustment. My next problem is that this front is plated. So what I think I'm going to do is so the plates will come like this. Not the other way around, sorry. Okay, so what I think I can do here is I think what I'll do is I'll just increase the pleats here at the top by, I'll only need 1/2 centimeter on each side, so if I were to do a narrow shoulder adjustment in the same way, it would start to interfere with how the pleats lie. So I would be, you know, slicing this and then bringing this in, which I think would affect the pleats too much. Yeah. So I just So my pleats now are actually going to cross over the tiniest bit on the inside, but you can see it's what, 22.5 millimeters on each plate, so it's not, I think, going to make too much of a difference with this, and I think it's probably the safest way to do it without having to, I would have to do the narrow shoulder adjustment and then start adjusting where all the pleats are, which is just too much. So yeah, that is how I'm going to do this. Hopefully it will work. You'll find out hopefully before you give it a go yourselves. I'll let you know. So that's all the changes made. For reference, when I was mentioning about the volume at the end of the sleeve going straight down, that is really what I have done with this sleeve here, and you can see there is quite a lot of volume on my cuff. This is the Rowan shirt from Wendy Ward's Swing Basics for Everybody. So I just straightened out the end of the sleeve instead of it becoming narrow at the end. I just went straight down and squared it off, and that gives this amount of volume at the end. So I should have a wee bit more in this dress, hopefully. Yeah, and then I got a wee bit extra length, and it does come sort of halfway down my calf at the minute, so hopefully it'll just bring it down maybe around ankle length. I think that's really what I want. I don't want it floor length. So yeah, we will see how it goes. I'm really excited to start in this one. Don't know when I'm going to wear it, but I love this fabric, and I think it just needs a really special garment. I could have made a blouse or a sort of everyday dress, but really I'm probably not going to wear it every day because it's white. I have 2 young kids. There is the Northern Ireland Frocktails, which will hopefully be happening this year. If not, I'm sure I can find some reason to wear it out somewhere. Hopefully whenever all the lockdown restrictions lift. So yeah, very excited to get started on this one, and so the first part we are going to be doing is the pleats on the bust and the neckline, so finishing the neckline with the bias. The other thing I want to mention, same as the floor top which I made last week, with the front, because it is on like a faux wrap, the front is cut on the bias. So the first thing that I'm going to do before I do anything else, I will be ironing the fusible stay tape onto the neckline to stop that from stretching out. This is something that I've started doing with most of my necklines now. I just think it's so much stronger than stay stitching. So yeah, first thing I'm going to be doing is that, and then next time we will be working on the pleats on the bodice and finishing the neckline. So I will see you soon. Bye.